The Springboks and Wales continue to fine-tune their preparations ahead of the Rugby World Cup happening in France. The two meet at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff this afternoon. That's in a tournament warm-up match. South Africa going into this game with a huge boost because captain Siya Kolisi is finally taking to the field, having recovered from an injury that has sidelined him the whole year. Jaden Hendrikse and Oxen Che are also making their first appearances of this year. This Wales test is the Boxers' penultimate preparation match before they begin their defence of their title. That's against Scotland on the 10th of September. Right, let's unpack this encounter happening this afternoon from 4:15. I'm joined by a former Bok wing, Breyton Paulse. Breyton, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Principality Stadium, a Cardiff conquest that we're hoping will be taking place today. We've been talking combinations. We've been talking, at least Jacques Nienaber and the captain have been talking about just trying to find what works ahead of the World Cup. That, yes, the ultimate goal in warm-up matches, even though they are just warm-up matches, is to win. But the key target here is to make sure that you find the perfect combination that could potentially help you go on to defend your title. If you were in Jacques Nienaber, the assistant coach's shoes, the captain himself, what becomes your focus today?
Yeah, Morena, I mean, it's obviously been a long build-up since the last World Cup we've won, in Japan. So for me, this team is a settled team. And if you look at the combinations, it's been settled for the last couple of years. I think continuity and consistency for the Boks have been really, really great. There hasn't been a lot of chop and changes here and there. Jacques and his team has brought in some young blood, guys like Canan Moody, for instance, comes to mind. But it's all about momentum going into the World Cup now. I mean, the defense, we all know we all are the world champions, and we are going to try and give it everything to bring back the cup. But it won't be easy this time. It's going to be a hell of a competitive World Cup this year. We've seen that. Scotland, for instance, are looking the part. They've been doing really, really well. They got a lot of momentum and also a lot of South African flavour in their side. But then teams like Tonga will be tough as well. England looks a bit undercooked. But Wales, I want to give credit to Wales because Warren Gatland, when he took over, a lot of his senior players retired, and he had to make ends meet with the sort of talent he had to his disposal, and he did so well to turn the team around. The new captain, Jack Morgan, he's very young, but he's been a revelation for the Welsh team. And I tell you what, the Principality Stadium, I like the stadium. I scored a lot of tries there. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful place to play rugby. The Welsh people, they love their rugby, and certainly it's a place where we will be tested today, come 4:15. So for me, the great news, obviously, Siya Kolisi being back, that is absolutely fantastic. And I feel that our captain, fantastic. You'll be foolish if you think he's going to have a blinder today. It will be a bonus, obviously, but, give the man a little bit of time. It's just wonderful to see him back. He recovered miraculously, obviously, when we heard the news that he's had a bit of a knee problem. But just his presence in the team is just absolutely great and a relief for a lot of South Africans in the Springbok team.
You mentioned some young guys that are coming in there, Breyton. How important is it going to be for them to have their captain there? You talk about what it is he brings to the team in terms of spirit. How important is it going to be for Canan Moody, for Mani Libbok, particularly, who all of South Africa is looking at that number 10 jersey that he's going to be donning? He and Damian Willemse saying that you guys need to essentially replicate what Handré Pollard did in Japan 4 years ago and marshal a South African success. How important is Siya Kolisi's presence going to be for our number 10?
Yeah, you know what? Just Siya's presence, he inspires people in the side. Off the field takes a lot of doing, and the kind of responsibilities and accountabilities that Siya had the last couple of years has just been immaculate. I don't want to be in his shoes. He really portrays himself as a wonderful ambassador. And first and foremost, he's a good human being. And I think the energy that the young guys bring into the side will certainly lift Siya as a captain as well. A lot of the team that played in 2019, is still with the team currently, which is a really good sign. But you need that young energy, the likes of Moody, the likes of Mani, the likes of Andre Esterhuizen to come in and just tell the guys that, we need more hunger to succeed if you want to bring back the cup. If you're world champion, you've got a target on your back. And I tell you what, when you're the world champion, everybody will come for you. Doesn't matter the team. They want to beat the world champions. And this time around, in France, a lot of people feel that they're going to win this World Cup. But I tell you, New Zealand have been under the radar. They haven't had a lot of bad luck with injuries. They've certainly also peaking at the right time. And I tell you what, this showpiece is going to be so competitive. You know, it'll be a crazy man now to put your money on one team to say, listen, we're going to win. This team is going to win this World Cup. And also, obviously, all the talk this week about Owen Farrell and his tackle technique and all that kind of stuff. You know, World Rugby, unfortunately, has dug themselves a hole there. But, you know, it's going to play out. All this drama is certainly building up to an absolutely fantastic World Cup.
Just before I let you go very quickly, Breyton, I like to put, you know, people with great expertise like yourself have their heads on the block with predictions and such. The World Cup, you've mentioned that there are a couple of teams, you know, that are good to vie for that title. France included, Ireland being the #1 ranked team, the All Blacks being, you know, record equal champions. But I want one name. Who do you think is the team for the Boks to worry the most about in this World Cup?
For me, it's France. Yeah, France, they've built up a hell of a lot of depth. You know, they're a little bit more structured, and their ill discipline is certainly out the window. Gaultier has brought this team together. You know, they got synergy, they got dynamism about them, and I just feel that playing at home, if they don't let the pressure get to them, they are the team that we should worry most about.
All right. It's not going to be the All Blacks. It's not going to be England once again. It certainly isn't going to be Ireland. Breyton Paulse saying that we should be worried about Le Bleu. Well, Breyton, thank you so much. It is always such a pleasure talking to you. That is former Springbok wing, the legend himself. That is Breyton Paulse. Just essentially looking ahead to what we can expect at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff this afternoon. It is a 4:15 p.m. kickoff between the Springboks, the world champions, up against Wales, of course, who we did meet in the last World Cup.